back to the DMG Stunner Wrong YouTube channel. My name is Mike, and I'm joined today by my boy Gage. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm excited. Get this fun draft process we got going on. Get to do some grading for some old drafts, maybe redraft some other things. Just fun times.
Oh yeah,
Little lull in the free agency period, so you can get to have some fun with these kind of videos. I'm excited.
Yep. So as you can tell right here, we're gonna be grading last year's draft, the 2021 draft. But before we hop into that, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We see that 92% of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed, so hit the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it if you do, and for everyone that has, we also appreciate you. So, with all that being said, we're going to jump right in here with the first overall pick from last year, which was also the Jacksonville Jaguars, going with Trevor Lawrence, which we all knew what was going to happen at that time. He was pretty much the number one guy.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew he was going to be the number one draft pick since he was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
Basically, when he was going to come out. We give it a B minus. Not on the pick, but really on the performance. I mean, he literally went like a month and a half without a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
As a quarterback in the NFL, you can't like. But he was in an absolutely awful situation. Not much to grade it on right now. But you got to base it off their performance. I just give it a B minus. We'll see what he can do with time.
Yeah, I think this is it's a fair representation of everything that's happened. I mean, it's an A for the pick. He got a guy that has a ton of potential. He's already solid as well. And now his situation is starting to get a lot better down there in Jacksonville. Things are looking up for him. And Trevor Lawrence, he will be that guy in Jacksonville. You just have to get him in, get the right guys around him, get the right coaches, and actually figure everything out. And last year was terrible for that, and it obviously affected him on the field. So, but I think year two is going to be a lot better for Trevor Lawrence. I think we're going to see some bigger things from the guy, and especially with everyone they're signing and things that they're doing down there, and with their first overall pick again this year. So,
not to mention, straight up the Colt killer.
Yeah, Colt assassin.
We'd like to see it.
Yep. Moving on to the second pick, though, which I don't really know off the top of my head, so we're going to go into it. That's right. New York Jets.
Wilson.
Zachy Boy Wilson, the quarterback out of BYU.
We're lucky it's just Mike and I today.
Yep.
If Dylan was here for this video, it would have been an A+ with a big kiss on the mouth because apparently he just loves Zach Wilson.
That's facts,
I
though.
think that Zach Wilson is the only person that he would probably leave his wife for.
I mean, look at him right there. Just so seductive with that look.
Yeah. In all seriousness, B- again, just like Trevor Lawrence. Showed promise. Also showed really bad lowlights, but in a crappy situation. So, not much really to say on it. Move on. Basically the same thing.
Yep.
Rinse and repeat.
Once again.
Trey Lance. I remember when we were doing this, we gave it a C, right? We did this a lot. With a lot of the season, there are guys that just didn't play yet. So we can't draft. We couldn't pick it either way. We'll just go neutral.
Yep.
It's a C. I don't think it was the right pick for the Niners, especially looking back on it like a year later now, where it doesn't even seem like they're ready for him to roll out there and start.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see with what's going to go on there. Thought it was a reach originally, but then again, he's got some tools that no one else is going to be able to have. So we'll see what happens with him.
Moving on, the fourth pick in the NFL draft from last year is Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida, obviously going to the Atlanta Falcons. We gave this one a B.
Are you second guessing that now, right now? Looking at it again at all?
No.
No? Okay.
I think it's kind of a reach in a sense, but also I feel like it's not, because he did put up good numbers. He just didn't score touchdowns. But you also look at the Atlanta Falcons roster and who they were rolling with last year and everything that was going on with that franchise and how their team was performing, and probably being one of the most talent deficient teams in the NFL, minus a couple players, and Kyle Pitts, and probably like Cordell Patterson being another one, and maybe Calvin Ridley if he played. But I mean, other than that, they also had what's his name, AJ Terrell on defense, their corner.
Yeah, he played really well.
Yeah, he played really well. So they have a couple guys, but other than that, their team is lackluster to say the least. But Kyle Pitts, I think, once they get through this full rebuild, if they can get out of it, and having a guy with like at that caliber at tight end like Kyle Pitts has, I think it's a cherry on top, and I think he could potentially get into like a conversation with like Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, and those other guys that are up there.
Unfortunately, that trajectory is looking less and less likely with that quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Speaking of the quarterback situation, looking at this now, I'm kind of leaning towards the other way. Like, if we're going based on the player, I think Abi's fine, right?
Yeah.
But based on like the Falcons, you took a tight end at number 4.
Yeah.
And your team is what now?
Yeah.
You don't have Matt Ryan
So,
anymore.
Yeah.
You had a chance for quarterbacks that there was a couple of them that were pretty good that you could have thought
Really
of.
good.
You could have traded up. You could have traded with. You know, you could have done some things. I don't know.
The pick for the franchise is not good, but Kyle Pitts himself is a good player, and he's worth the B.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll leave it at that. We'll move on to the 5th overall pick in
All right, just move on.
Jamar Chase. Going to the Cincinnati Bengals at 5. Last year, before the season, everyone mocked the Bengals for taking Jamar Chase here, and we're so confused on why they took Jamar Chase here instead of going with a tackle, which
It was like Jamar Chase or Penei Sewell.
yeah.
Period. They made us all like them.
Yeah. As we saw from last year, Jamar Chase, like he was the number 1 wide receiver in the league. Basically, he was an absolute stud. Put up ridiculous numbers, set some rookie records. Dude was just crazy. Him and Joe Shiesty picking up right where they left off in LSU. Just did unbelievable things on that field. It was fun to watch him this past year. And it'll be crazy to see what him and Joe Shiesty come up with in year 2, and if they keep on rolling on that rookie campaign of his. But obviously, as you see there, A+. It worked out for him. Proved us all wrong.
Best pick in that draft?
Yes.
Best? Okay.
Yeah, I could say. I think it's the one that obviously worked out the best. So yeah, A+,
well,
as we see there. Yep. Moving on to 6 here. The Miami Dolphins going with Jalen Waddle, little wide receiver out of Alabama. We gave this one an A-. He played well. Played very well. He had a few weeks there where he was hurt, but never really let his foot off the gas. Didn't really let it affect him. The transition from college to the NFL didn't affect him at all. Kind of almost on the... I mean, no one was really on the level of Jamar Chase last year, but for rookie wide receivers, he was up there. He played well.
Yeah, he actually led in a few categories over Chase.
Yeah. So
obviously nowhere near the talent, right? Like you can tell, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he put on a good rookie campaign there down in Miami, getting that chemistry with Tua. Jalen was pretty much Tua's only real weapon on that team last year. So, and it worked out for him. They were 1 game out from being in the playoffs. Real up and down season, but yeah, didn't let his foot off the gas. And I think it'll be crazy to see him and Tyreek on the same field next year. 2 speedsters.
Yeah, I mean, he was the perfect thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get Tua the guy that he was used to, let him kind of settle in.
Oh yeah, they also have that chemistry from college.
Yep. Another one. I don't know why people don't do it more often. If you've
I
got
know.
that talent with that quarterback, and then you got the guy, I think it's going to start happening now
I
for
think it
sure
will.
because it's worked out, the last couple times.
Hmm.
But it never really made sense why people didn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the pick. I liked it when it happened, and I like the way he plays. For me personally, like wide receivers are one of my favorite positions to watch, and the way that Jalen Waddle plays is one of my like favorite ways that wide receivers play. So
Mm.
I like him quite a bit. So
Yep. A
moving
minus
on,
for
next one.
sure.
Yep.
Yep. Moving on to the 7th overall pick, which was Penei Sewell, tackle out of Oregon, going to the Detroit Lions. This is an A, obviously, as
Yeah.
we gave it.
Yep. Um, Probably would be the first overall pick if he was out this year.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the fair assessment.
Yeah.
Lions didn't trade up or anything, and they got their left tackle for you would hope is his entire career.
Yeah.
And he's young. He's like just now 21, I think.
Yeah. He's a young guy. You want to hope you can keep him as long as he's playing in the NFL. Came out rookie year, absolutely bossed it. But I mean, we saw how the Lions played. They didn't really have much to cheer about. But you see Penei Sewell, and you see a guy that is going to be on your offensive line for hopefully as long as he's in the NFL. Like I said, you're hoping he's going to be kind of like that Quentin Nelson guy that the Colts have. That main guy, the rock on your offensive line, the guy that gets it all going, that sets the tempo for everyone else that's going to be on that line. And Penei Sewell did a great job of that in his rookie year, and he's going to build off that. Him and Dan Campbell and the whole offensive coaching staff there, they're going to get it rolling for sure. But yeah, A pick here. A all around. Just not the Lions season.
Is it ever though? Sadly.
Usually not.
But yep. Who was after that? I don't remember. Was that
Let's find out.
ah
J.C. Horn. Yep, this is the whatever pick of the NFL draft.
I know we didn't put the numbers for some
No,
reason.
I didn't.
We put a C because he got hurt.
Yes, he
Right?
did get hurt.
He got hurt.
Mhm.
So he showed a lot of really good potential. He was
Yes.
playing really well, and then got hurt for like the rest of the year. So we don't get to really see how it goes.
Mhm.
I think he's going to be a really good corner, though.
Yes.
Not a great situation,
No.
as a lot of these guys are going to be in the the top half of the draft. So, but
Yeah.
I liked the pick. I'm fine with it. I thought Surtain was better, but
Yes.
if it works out, it works out. So we'll just have to see how he is without injury.
Yep. And losing Stephon Gilmore now to the Colts, he's going to need to step up big this next season, so hopefully he's ready.
Yep. And speaking of the better corner, Pat Surtain, the second from
Mhm.
Alabama, went to the Denver Broncos. He was a veteran, like in his first year, basically.
Oh,
The guy
yeah.
didn't make rookie mistakes that you normally see. That was a great pickup for him. And, obviously now it looks a lot nicer when you've got Russell Wilson on the other side.
Yeah.
So, great pickup.
Yeah.
Just
B-
went best player available, and it fit their needs as well.
Yep. B plus on the cups of an A for sure, but B plus for sure for this pick here. Value the
Doing it
player.
now- Sorry. keep
No,
going.
I was just saying value the player, value of the pick, and everything. I think corners going more in the top 10 now, as we're going to see, I think, coming up here in the next few years. So Denver Broncos and obviously the Panthers starting it off early with taking the early corners, but this one paid off for the Broncos.
We made this video before free agency started.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons why it wasn't an A was because there were a couple quarterbacks on the board that they probably could have gotten, and they didn't have a good system or a good setup with quarterback at the time. So now looking at the fact that they got Russell Wilson, we grade it. I have no problem giving this an A.
Oh, yeah.
I think it should change to an A.
Yep. We'll change it right now to an A.
It's an A.
A.
A. Next. Speaking of another A,
Devonta Smith.
another team getting another wide receiver that played with their quarterback to help them settle in.
Who would have thought?
I love Devonta Smith. I thought he was just incredible in college. Like some of the best wide receiver film I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like dominant. He was so much fun to watch. Sad that he's on the Eagles because I think Jalen Hurts really hurts that. Like no pun intended. His overall potential. I'm not high on Hurts, but he produced very well. Struggled kind of out of the gate, and then towards the end of the year, blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And then towards the very, very end of the year, they decided they were going to run the ball 45 times.
Do a bunch of RPO stuff and just not throw it his way.
Yeah, I know. I'm seriously, but you can tell he was literally the only bright spot on that offense in that Buccaneers playoff game.
Yeah.
He's got a crazy ton of potential, and he showed that just because he's skinny as he is doesn't mean he can't play in the NFL.
Well, he was the only bright spot on that team for like a while, and even in that playoff game, they didn't throw to him once until the fourth quarter.
That killed me.
They did not throw to him once until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But
oh boy,
good start there at the Eagles. Build a nice foundation around him and Hurts and stuff, and see what happens year 2. Moving on to the next pick here. The Chicago Bears that traded up with the Giants to get their guy here, and Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. Now, we gave this just a B- because this was something that the Bears needed to do. They needed to go out and get a quarterback and get their guy. But with the Matt Nagy regime there, however you want to call it, Matt Nagy and his boys did not pan out well with Justin Fields in year 1. But Justin Fields, it was embarrassing. But Justin Fields, he has a lot of potential. He's a really good quarterback. I liked him at Ohio State. Pro Day looked really good. Combine stuff looked good. The pick had to be done for them, so they got themselves potentially their franchise quarterback. But they got a new coach and stuff in there now. They're kind of in rebuild mode right now as well. But I think you have your quarterback locked down with a guy like Justin Fields.
So, a couple bits of information here. One, for me, this is who I wanted the Falcons to take. This is who I think they should have taken.
This is who they should have taken.
2, Mikey hates Mac Jones, and he's his second fiddle, and Mikey only wanted Justin Fields.
I did want Justin Fields.
Anything otherwise, he only wanted Justin Fields. He was upset he got Mac Jones.
I was not upset. Okay, anyways, moving on. I think this was the 12th pick.
So I think this, for me, was the best pick.
Okay, yeah, you're right, too. Chasing Parsons.
I guess you could say either way, because one's offense, one's defense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this guy was a rookie that was in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year alongside T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald. Enough said.
Dude played like he's been in the league 8+ years.
And not that, he did it like Khalil Mack. Like, oh, you want me to play linebacker? Okay. Oh, you just need me to switch to D-end? I'll go play D-end. I never played it in college, ever. I'm not a big guy at all, but I'll go and dominate at D-end.
Yeah, I'm just an athletic freak.
The first week that I play it, like, incredible. Like, nothing like it. It was really fun to watch.
It sucks he's on the Cowgirls because I want to root for him so bad. But yeah, A+, as you can see there. No doubt about it.
Yeah, guy's a freak in nature.
Yep.
That's my number 1 pick for the draft.
Yeah. Moving on.
Congrats, Cowboys did something right.
Yep, for once.
You did it, especially after this last offseason.
Yep.
This current offseason.
All right. Yep, moving on to the next pick here. The Los Angeles Chargers going with Rashawn Slater. Was he their left tackle?
This is so for how like the Chargers got lucky just sitting there and then ended up getting Slater, who
they wanted.
You could argue was better than Penei Sewell.
Yeah. And he's out of Northwestern, by the way. It doesn't say there.
Yeah, you could see just the growth in the offense in 1 year with having a true left tackle covering for Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
There's four most important positions in the NFL: quarterback, edge, the guy that protects the edge, the offensive tackles, and then a wide receiver. And the Chargers have really good in every one of those categories. That is a great pick for them.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is it probably the best tackle in the draft, but it was also their biggest need. So,
A+.
Yeah, A+. We can move on from that one.
Which is the New York Jets with their second pick in the first round. Once again.
Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yep.
Sorry, I just love saying that name. I had to say it.
I'm going to say it again, too. Elijah Vera Tucker.
Just a fun name. Just say it. It's just Elijah Vera Tucker. Just comes right off the tongue.
Yep. Say it at home, boys.
The only problems, defensive tackles usually come right off of him as well, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He was pretty solid. Showed flashes and potential. Was a good starter, but when you don't have great tackles, it's difficult for your guards to do what they're really supposed to do. He is a perennial starter, and even if it's not a great positional value at the spot that they got him, blah blah blah, getting a guy that's going to start in your team for X amount of years is a great pick. So I have no problem giving it a B and just letting it go.
Yep.
So C-. Back at it. Did you see them get freaking spanked by the Bills 2 weeks in a row?
You're damn right I did, kid. But yeah, this was the 15th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Patriots went with Mac Jones, quarterback out of Alabama. Great rookie campaign. Stepped in with got the keys to the car. Bill Belly, him and Josh McDaniels let Mac Jones kind of take over the offense. And I think for a rookie, he did just fine. Took us to the playoffs. Winning record, second in our division, 1 game behind the Bills. So, yeah, I mean, I think he did fine for the Patriots. It's going to be exciting to watch next season with everything that's going on with all the signings and actually getting him a real wide receiver one, a guy that has experience at being a wide receiver one in the NFL and playing with a quarterback just kind of like Mac Jones and Ryan Fitzmagic. Just that typical pocket passer guy. So it'll be interesting to see how he does this next year. But I think a B+ is fine. Maybe a little too high. B+. I don't know.
I think it's fine. He made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean,
arguably,
I don't think he should have.
He shouldn't have because Josh Allen wasn't there.
He made the Pro Bowl, and he's a rookie quarterback, and he led you guys to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for a rookie campaign, I think he did just fine.
B+ is, kind of even harsh.
Yep. Here's your dad too, by the way.
Just stir into the skid, Mikey. Yeah.
Set him right there.
But moving on to pick 16 because you guys got him 15th, so now we can keep track.
Yep. So this is 16.
Pick 16. Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. Arizona Cardinals picked him up. This is his second year in a row at the time that they went with a linebacker that really isn't a linebacker and doesn't really have a position, just a good football player and overall crazy athlete with Isaiah Simmons and then Zaven Collins, both of which had the exact same problem. Like, what are we doing? There is no position for us. We don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
So it just kind of seemed like a waste of a pick. I mean, obviously with these guys, you got to give them 2 to 3 years. You can't call them a bust in a certain amount of time. But again, like I didn't understand the pick, especially now, like looking back on it with how they're going with their team now in free agency and the way it's building. Like, unless they plan on him moving to like edge, why not get an edge here? I don't know. this really has nothing to do with Zaven Collins, the player. He actually had probably the coolest highlight out of any of the players in this draft class. The play where he literally hurdled a standing running back to block him and sacked the quarterback right after, like straight verted the dude over top. If we can find the clip, we should put it on the screen right now for him.
I will.
I'll find the clip, but it was like awesome. I just don't get the pick. I don't get the pick. That's all.
Yeah, I don't really have much or too much to add on this one, so we'll leave it at that.
All right.
So this is pick 17 here. The Oakland Raiders are now Las Vegas. I don't know why it says Oakland, but that's where they're from anyways. Going Alex Leatherwood, offensive lineman.
I did it, and I did it out of spite because
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah, just being a turd.
Yep, that's okay.
Showed potential, didn't play great.
Yeah.
He played like he was a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, there's not really much more. Like, you can't really be too harsh on him.
And they had a cruddy situation last year as well, so not saying you can blame it all on that because they still made the playoffs and everything, but I mean, those are the outside distractions, especially being a rookie. Being your first year in the NFL, having all those outside stuff with the coaching staff and the front office and all that other stuff happen could potentially throw you off. But
yeah, it absolutely can.
Yeah.
But with linemen in the NFL, and you draft them, you give them 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they play great, like Slater and Panay did this year, right? After their third year is pretty much what they're going to be in the NFL. That's a pretty safe bet. That's kind of how it's always gone. So wait until their third pick, right? And then, or a third year, and then you can see what they're going to be.
Yeah.
He didn't have the best year, but he has that potential. He showed he has that potential, so we can see how good he actually gets over time.
Yep.
Sorry, I like lost my train of thought as I was speaking for a second.
It's all good.
Late, guys. Sorry.
Yep. All right, moving on to the 18th pick. The Miami Dolphins with their second pick in the first round go Jalen Phillips, edge out of Miami, keeping the Miami boy in Miami.
He played really well this year, didn't he? What were
Yes,
his
he did.
stats, Mike? Do you have it up?
No, I don't.
I'm trying to remember. He killed it.
Yeah, he played very well.
This is who I thought the Cardinals should have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's interesting how, like, this year, this draft class, right? You see people going higher than they should just because they're edge positions, right? And
Right.
this guy dropped, even though he is an edge. And, like, a good one, obviously. He played well. Was there an edge taken before this? I'm trying to, think on the top of my head. I don't think there was. I don't think there was an edge rusher taken before him.
Well, technically Micah Parsons in a sense, but he's not an edge. He's a linebacker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He kind of.
How many sacks did he have this year?
Jalen Phillips?
Yeah.
8.5. He had 39 total tackles, 20 solo, 19 assisted, 8.5 sacks, 0 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. But, I mean, that's a pretty solid rookie campaign right there. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Getting your foot in the door. 8.5 sacks isn't a slouch by any means either. Especially out of a rookie. You're not really expecting a whole lot out of the guy just because first year in the NFL, don't know how he's going to transition, but he transitioned very well, and he played good for himself, and hopefully he continues to not do that anymore, being with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Pretty funny.
Yep.
Anyways, we move on to the next pick.
Yep, the 19th pick here. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this was an awful one. Also, before we move on, it was not Zaven Collins that did that hurdle hit. That was somebody else. They do have similar uniforms. It was a guy from SMU. So, I'm an idiot. But
It's all good.
you know, also idiots, the Commanders.
Yes,
With
they
this
are.
pick,
Jamin Davis. Never
he
heard
just
of
didn't
him.
play.
Never heard of him. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he just didn't play games for him.
Yeah.
Um,
Drafting for
it
the
wasn't like
future.
a need. It wasn't a need for him. Yet they went with it. They had one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year, which I found just really interesting because they were so dominant the year before,
Mm-hmm.
and yet they didn't do well. I mean, he was decent. I mean, he played 16 games for him. He had 76 tackles, but he only got 1 sack, and that was kind of like his like his like plus side coming out of Kentucky was like
Mm-hmm.
he could get a lot of sacks, and he just didn't show it. Now, maybe give him some leeway. They had a bad time, and he's got time to grow, I guess. But we'll see. I don't know. That's why we left it as a C. It's one of those, not really his fault, but not really anyone else's
Yeah.
besides the team. So,
Yeah, we'll see what continues to happen with him.
moving on.
19th pick?
Tre'Davious Toney, C plus because the production from him, and then the team overall in general.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he got hurt, too, in the middle of the season.
Yeah, he
so-
was hurt like constantly.
Yeah,
But-
couldn't stay healthy.
This guy is legit. If he can get his ligaments to just not fall apart anytime he
Yeah.
turns, he is like Tyreek Hill. And that's not like an exaggeration. This guy is fast as all can get out. Literally scares every DB that's on him by just twitching because they literally can't keep up anyway, so they have to react as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Like, he played like, what was it? He had a game, and he had like 200 yards. I'm gonna look it up. He is electric. Hopefully, for me personally, like just watching him play, I really hope that he can stay healthy because it would be really fun to watch. It's fun watching guys like that.
Mhm.
Also hope that he can figure out some of this off-field stuff. And another problem is it's not really his fault having Daniel Jones and the worst offense in the NFL. If any of you guys have been around long enough that have been like watched our original videos that were absolute garbage, and we just did weekly previews every week, I bagged on the Giants for a solid 6 weeks.
Pretty
towards the
much.
end of the year. It literally did not score an offensive touchdown for 3 straight games or something like that, like 3 straight games worth of quarters. I mean, like, not much more you can do as a wide receiver, right? Like, that's one of the problems with wide receiver at the position, right? There's so many good ones, but a lot of the time it doesn't matter because if you can't get the ball,
Yeah.
that's not your fault. I mean, it's not. He's not getting open. He's clearly getting open. It's just he's not getting the ball.
It's Sky Cam Glennon's fault.
Dude, it was anemic to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 points, 3 points, 10 points, 9 points, 10 points, 11 points, 14 points, 13 points, 17 points, 14 points. That's 10 games out of the 17 that they play that they had under 20 points. Yeah. The game I'm talking about is he had 10 receptions for 190 yards.
There you go.
Yeah. If he can find out how to hit the end zone, then they'll be cooking with fire.
Yeah. But a lot of upside to this pick here for sure.
Yeah, just C plus because of injuries and overall play from the entire team. So
And Daniel Jones. So moving on to 20.
Quiddy Pay Edge from Michigan, B plus, good season.
Yep.
Not elite, but a great starter and a
Mhm.
good person to have on the line. He's very solid and a good, reliable player for the Colts pretty much all year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he missed a game.
I don't think he did
Maybe
either.
thinking of something else, but I don't think he missed a game. I can triple check for us, but I'm pretty sure he didn't miss a game,
Yeah.
which is reliable. And one of the best abilities in the NFL is reliability.
Yep, and staying healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. Played every game.
good for him. Good for the Colts.
Let's just move on to the next pick, I guess.
21. Tennessee Titans going Caleb Farley, corner out of Virginia.
We gave him a C. The yellow, I think, means he was injured.
Yeah, he was injured. I don't know
Got
if he
injured
played.
for a long time. Yeah, he only played 3 games in the beginning of the year, and he only started 1 before he got hurt.
Yep.
And that 1 game he played, he had a pass deflection and like 5 tackles.
Yeah.
Shows potential. Don't know. Can't really say much more on it.
Gotta stay healthy. Gotta be reliable. But
Unfortunate, but it's the truth.
he was a beast in college. Obviously, that first game he was a beast. Just has to pick up where he left off in that first game, and the Titans got themselves probably one of their franchise corners. So just gotta hope it plays out well.
Also, we're gonna piss off a lot of people. They're Virginia fans. It's not Virginia. It's Virginia Tech. So he played for Virginia Tech.
Oh, that's right. That is right. I remember now. Yep. Sorry, Virginia. You suck. Virginia Tech. Go Hogies.
Yeah, it's not even like remotely close either. I mean,
Yeah.
Cavaliers have sucked for years, and the Hokies have dominated it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that made up for it, Hokie fans.
Boom. Moving on to 22 here. Minnesota Vikings going Christian Darrisaw, tackle out of Virginia Tech. 2 Virginia Tech guys.
You know,
Back to
it'd
back.
be really funny if Darrisaw was from Virginia,
Virginia.
and we just flipped him. I don't think we're wrong at all. But,
I don't think we're wrong either.
it would just be really funny. Anyways, keep going, Mikey.
Yeah, so the Vikings went here at 22 with Christian Darrisaw. Solid, decent rookie campaign. Played
He
well.
was a starter.
Yeah, he was a starter. He played
all
well.
game.
So there's a lot to like there, obviously. Reliability, stuff like that. A ton of potential, room to grow. Played well for himself already. And just getting more of that NFL experience and keep on growing off of what he just put down this past year as a rookie. So I think the Vikings did well with this pick here. He's the fourth lineman off the board tackle.
Fourth tackle, yeah.
Yeah, 4th tackle, and he played almost just as good as the top 2 in Penei Sewell and Slater. So yeah, I think the Vikings knocked it out of the park with this one.
What's really nice is the fact that like they all got their tackles right, those 4 teams, and they all started for like the entire season. So there was no wasted pick for them. So that's good to see. It's always nice seeing linemen and getting picked in the first round and it working out really well for the team.
Yep.
Next.
Yep. 23 here. The Pittsburgh Steelers going with Najee Harris, running back out of Alabama.
Oh my gosh, look at his stiff arm. Move on. Hey, Midas, he's a good running back.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, though, when your offensive line is straight booty cheeks.
Yep. Great rookie campaign there with the Steelers. He only fumbled once last year, I believe. And he had 1,000 yards rushing.
Helps when you get 1,000 touches.
Yeah, he had 350 touches, I think, is what it was.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I'm just being bitter. He's a good running back.
Yeah, yes, he played well for himself, and he's just going to continue to build on that, hopefully, because the Steelers' line's getting better, I think.
It did, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
It did really well in the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, it just, like, all of that, like, growth just dropped.
Yeah.
So we'll see what actually is, what that team can do.
Yeah.
Hopefully nothing.
Yep.
But
I agree.
we'll finish above 500. Okay, this is the worst thing.
Yeah.
We were trying to find ways not to be harsh on this one. This is not towards Travis Etienne. Nothing to do with him. Actually, something to do with him. He literally got hurt at the very beginning and didn't play the entire season.
Yeah.
So, not only did you...
I'm surprised there's a picture of him in a Jaguars uniform.
Oh, it took me a really long time. It's a preseason one.
Oh, okay.
And I think that was like his only snap.
Oh.
Just kidding. Like, my goodness. One, what does the franchise do? James Robinson killed it for you guys, right? was clearly a starting running back in the NFL. I don't know what your thing was. Then you alienate him by drafting this dude. Then you don't even use him. Then you don't even use James Robinson, and like refuse to use him. I'm struggling to find any positive to this pick whatsoever. It just seems like a waste.
Another thing, Jacksonville, you did it wrong. You're supposed to draft the wide receiver of the quarterback, not the running back. So you messed up there. You didn't draft the right position.
And they got a chance this year.
And
you guys got the first overall pick. Pick Justin Ross.
Yeah, do it. Just do it. And second of all, you picked someone you didn't need. This is probably one of the worst picks in NFL history. What?
There's a lot of Cleveland picks that I can show you right now that are worse. But.
Well, I know, but like this is one of the most idiotic picks that you could have done, and they did it.
This is one of those that, like, congratulations, you guys have amassed a ton of picks. It does not matter if you don't use it to make your team better. Like even if he is a good weapon for you guys, right? Is that as beneficial as the very next player on this pick? Go to the next player. That would have done you so much better. Literally so much better.
Yeah.
Nothing that Travis Etienne can do for you would benefit your team more than a lockdown corner.
Yeah.
That you could have gotten. Or Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, a lockdown linebacker that you guys didn't. Like, I just didn't understand it. Like, I root for these really bad teams, right? Because I've been a Browns fan my entire life. It sucks. I know it. And the draft time, especially for these teams and their fan bases, is awesome because, like, this is what you look forward to all year because you know you're going to suck, but at least it gives you that opportunity to be happy, right? And you get Trevor Lawrence, and it's like smiles. Then you do this, and you're like, what are we doing to our team?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
F. 100%.
No positive for me.
If there was a grade below an F, I'd give it to him.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with Travis Etienne.
No,
because he is a really good running.
Oh
back.
Yeah, that's just not where he needs to be.
But speaking of lockdown corner, Greg Newsome,
24th
out of Northwestern. He's a beast.
Yeah, stud.
And if you don't think so, go watch Jamar Chase's highlights versus the Browns. Oh, there was none because he was locked down all game long by Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward. That's Jamar Chase, that everyone can agree is probably top 10 NFL wide receiver. And this isn't zone coverage. This is man-to-man, I'm going to bully you. And Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward bullied him. And it was like all year long. And you could see him grow throughout the year, just him clicking and getting smarter and smarter and like being able to read the game better. Like, he's just a supreme athlete.
Yeah.
But it looks so silky. Like, nothing looks difficult for him. I'm very happy with the pick. Kind of sad at the same time because I think it's going to mean that Denzel Ward is no longer a Brown. Because they're happy with Greg Newsome. But this guy is an incredible player.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely smart, yeah.
Yeah, I hope the Patriots can get someone on Greg Newsome's level this draft.
Earlier, I said that Surtain was the best corner in the draft. I meant like in that draft cycle when you're looking at the prospects. The best corner in this draft that came out and played this year is Greg Newsome by far, and it's not even close. Everything that Surtain is, Greg Newsome is better.
Yeah.
And I'll piss off a lot of people saying that, and I'm a Browns homer, so suck it.
No, I agree with you anyways, because Greg Newsome was a beast at Northwestern as well. So the dude's been doing it for a minute now.
Yeah. I thought when the Deshaun Watson trade rumors are coming out that he was going to have to be in the package for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, he is a gem.
Yeah, he's a stud.
So.
Yeah. A+ for me as well.
Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota for the Ravens. They went and finally drafted a guy for Lamar. Unfortunately, he wasn't on the field until week 8, 9. And by that time, Lamar had his injuries, and Lamar only really played with him for 3 games before Lamar was out for the year. So it is yet to be seen. He did show a lot of really good flashes in that offense. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of opportunities in that offense for wide receivers. So we kind of just give it a B-. Jury's out. He played better than a C. But he also didn't get enough time or in a good enough situation for him to show himself with the quarterback that they drafted him for.
Yeah.
So hopefully he just sucks for the rest of his career.
Yep, I agree.
Bye-bye. Okay. This is another one of the Travis Etienne picks. Etienne picks. At least with the Jaguars. At least with the Jaguars, right? It was a crappy pick for him. They picked it at the wrong time, picked a positional value that they didn't need, and alienated one of their best players that they already had on their team on a position you didn't need to pick, right? At least he was known, like Etienne is like a beast, right? Like he's going to be good in the NFL. Who is Peyton Turner?
Never heard of her.
He didn't play.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't play like at all. I mean, like we were looking this up when we found out it was Peyton Turner when we were doing this video. Like who is this dude? And he had 12 sacks. Or not sacks. Gosh, that would have been really good. He had 12 tackles.
Oh, perfect. That's really good.
He got 1 sack, and he played 5 games.
Wow.
Of which he never played more than 25% of the snaps.
That's what you want out of your first round draft pick.
Yeah. He literally started he played 41 total percent of the snaps possible on defense. Not total. The others were on special teams. So you drafted a first round special teams player.
Is it because he got hurt?
Oh, I think he did get hurt, and that's why we were nice enough to give him a D. But I'm pretty sure he did get hurt. Yep, he did get hurt. Oh. So that's why we gave him a D and not an F. But he did play 5 games and showed that he was a good special teams player.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Saints.
A good pick, though. The Green Bay Packers picked up Eric Stokes, corner from Georgia. He played really well.
He did.
That entire secondary stepped up big time. Mm-hmm. They got Rashawn Douglas, who they just re-signed and extended from the Cardinals. And then they had Jair Alexander and then Eric Stokes. And somehow they kind of just glued and hammered this little makeshift cornerback group together in the last second, and it blew up, and it was really, really good. Stokes is a good second and third corner. Good pick for him. Yeah,
they have a great secondary there in Green Bay now with those 3, and then Adrian Amos, I think is his name. Yeah, he's solid as well. So yeah, this is a good pick for him. They were laughed at for it. I mean, looking back at it now, you could still kind of laugh at him for it because now you don't have any wide receivers. But your defense is fine, and that's fine. And there's plenty of wide receivers this draft, so it worked out in the end for the Packers.
Yeah, and it helps when they finally have gotten like a good defense for Rodgers. Finally, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, that was the lackluster part of their team for a while,
right? Yeah. Darnell Savage, that's who it is. Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, B pick here.
Yep.
If you're drafting again, that's somebody you would take again.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep. Another good pick. Don't know how he fell.
I don't know either.
But Gregory Rousseau, edge from Miami, had a great year with Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting what like narratives get put out per draft cycle, and then you like go back and look. Like he's in the moment, that's the only thing that you're thinking of, right? Is because that's what everybody's saying. So you kind of, get that. That's just what you heard. So that's what you think. And then you go back and you look after they've played a year, and then you're looking at some of the narratives and like, how did this ever get that way? Yeah. Especially for like players that like people like knew had potential and yet still dropped. Like Gregory Rousseau is a starting defensive end in the NFL that can likely get you 10 sacks a year.
Yeah.
And he fell almost out of the bottom of the first round.
I don't know how. I know at like the beginning of like this draft cycle, he was like up in like the top 10s in picks sometimes. He was like one of the highest looked at guys, one of the highest prospects.
But he didn't produce in college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Not like
Yeah.
critical or anything. It's just fun, like looking back and reading
Yeah.
that stuff and seeing
Yeah.
different opinions.
Yeah, but both of the Miami boys killed it. Both edges out of Miami killed it last year. And I'm just glad they're both
That's
in
right.
the AFC East going against the Patriots. Fuck, I love it.
Let that one slip a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Odafe Owe had to say it.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, edge out of Penn State. Awful pick at the time. Like, who is this dude? And of course, naturally, freak athlete that just ends up
Yeah.
an edge rusher for the Ravens. That just naturally is incredible, as per usual. They get these random weird dudes that just somehow produce in that defense, and it's so annoying.
Just like the Patriots do.
Complaining about the Miami or the Miami boys and the
Yeah.
AFC East. Like, I'm not a Browns fan who has to deal with the Ravens and Steelers defense from the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if you think about those two teams, you think defense
Yeah.
and hitting blitzes hard.
Yep.
So,
And Odafe Owe is that guy.
yeah. So
Yeah. He played
He
well
got
for
hurt,
himself.
though, towards
Yeah.
the end of the year. Otherwise, I think it would have been an A.
Yeah. He showed good signs, and I think he will continue to build on that this next year for sure. Joe Tryon Shanika.
You guys remember what we said about Peyton Turner? And if you guys don't remember who Peyton Turner is, do not feel bad. That's the guy we just talked about for the New Orleans Saints that they drafted. Copy and paste.
The highlight of this dude's rookie year was that he hyphenated his last name and had to get new jerseys made. That was the highlight of his rookie year. Because he was Joe Tryon before when he got drafted, and then like a few weeks in, he hyphenated his last name and made everyone buy new jerseys for him.
I was going to say, he would have had to spend half his game checks buying back his jerseys, but no one bought it, so it was okay for him.
How much you need? Like 100,000? No, dude, we need $150. At least you're the only one that bought your own jersey. So,
We gave your parents ones for free.
yeah. So those are on the house still.
Yeah. In fairness, we're giving him a lot of hard time just messing with him, right?
Yeah.
In fairness, he did play all 17 games, unlike Peyton Turner, right? All jokes aside, he did get a safety.
Yeah.
He had 4 sacks, and he also had three bat downs. So not an awful pick, right? Like it, and right here, you just won the Super Bowl. You have the luxury to pick whatever you feel like. You don't have to pick for your team to get better right now. You just won the Super Bowl. They have edge rushers that are really good, that are going to be aging. You get a young guy that has no pressure and has the ability to get better.
Yeah.
So we give him a hard time because we think, you could obviously get a better player than him right now. But this is not a pick for this year. It's a pick for a couple of years from now. So in fairness, I think a D is a little harsh. I would say a C, but really it's just because, I mean, literally there's 20 better players that you could have gotten, but that would have made a bigger impact. Oh, well. And was that the 32nd?
Yep.
Was that the last pick?
That's the last one.
So that is our regrade of the 2021
Yes, sir.
NFL Draft.
Yep.
It was fun to do.
Yep. Let us know if you guys agree what you would change or how we did.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
We'll be releasing some more content like this. I think that's just find it interesting reading back on that stuff. You just don't really go back to it. But if you made it to the end of this video, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. If you have made it to the end of this video and you haven't hit the like button or subscribe button, what are you doing? Just hit it. You've already been here all that time.
Yep.
And we appreciate it, and we'll bring you guys some more NFL content later on.
Yep. Peace out.